and we're starting our series on songs. We're going to do song reviews here on Project Sax, and this is just going to be audio voiceovers of me talking about songs that I think are highlight songs that you need to listen to. But this is going to be me in depth, talking about the theory of the song, how scales apply to the song, what notes you can play over the song as a saxophone player. I'm going to get real in depth with the actual song. Today's song is going to be coming from Eric Darius' CD On a Mission, and it's called My Prayer for Haiti. Now, originally, when I heard this title was going to be on the CD, I was thinking, Eric, he's doing a good job, but I think he's just, putting this song in there just to milk it a little bit more. You know how sometimes your favorite artists just do things just to look good, and things that don't turn out to be as good as you think they are, even though they have a good title and it's from a good frame of mind. But this song is actually nothing like that. This song is exactly what it says. If you ever go to church and you do a gospel, I'm a gospel musician in church on Sundays, but if you go and you get into the spirit and you playing, everything gets loud, everything gets proud, and the heavens and the angels are singing. This is that song. This is Candy Dulfer, Lily Was Here type, award-winning, Nobel Prize-winning. I'm pretty sure you can't win a Nobel Prize for a song, but I'm telling you, if you could, he would. This is Grammy. This is Gerald Albright's Georgia on My Mind type. This is Eric Darius' song right here, man. And it's not even that. Okay, be honest with you guys, it's not a hard song to play. For instance, in the beginning of the song, he starts off with something simple, da da dee da dee ba ba da da, and he just he milks that a lot. He plays that in the beginning. It's real subtle. It's real alto sax centric with the lower E, the lower end of the saxophone is really sexy on any saxophone. As long as you know how to play it. Subtone it right. It's really subtle. It comes in smoky, and he's just playing. He's playing, and as in reference to the title, it's Prayer for Haiti. So in my mind, I imagine a lot of things because music is never just one thing. Like Sonny Rollins says, when he's soloing, or with I'm pretty sure with any jazz musician soloing or playing a song, it doesn't have to be exactly what the title says, but it has to convey the emotion that the title demands. And that's what the song is going to be about. So when you hear it, you got to hear a prayer for Haiti. You have to hear the kids screaming. You have to hear the emotional tension, the stress, the pain, and the agony. I'm not saying to cry, but sometimes I almost tear up when I hear some songs because the chords, the song, the saxophone, the battle cry sax, you can hear it. You can hear it in every note. Now, like I said in the beginning, it's real subtle. You could imagine maybe some kids crying. You could imagine like a video going in your head where you can see individual pictures fading in and fading out of kids crying and houses being ripped to shreds by a natural disaster. You can really actually hear that, just manifesting in your soul from the low E, the naturals that Eric Darius plays on the saxophone. This kind of you got pretty much most of the things on your right and left hand for the alto saxophone at this point in the beginning of the song is just natural. He's just floating in the naturals. I would say that he's playing around a G major for the alto, around a D major, G major. Maybe 2 sharps would be in that key signature, but he's not playing that C sharp, so I would say he's leaning towards more of the G major, the 1 sharp, like I said in the free saxophone lessons that you guys can look at for the major scales. But he's playing probably in that key of B flat concert, which is G major for the alto saxophone, just sitting in there. And instead of him just playing the scale, he's probably playing some something bluesy, so he's probably jumping to a third or a fifth, playing around that dominant, and kind of just giving that nitty gritty feel. Those fifths really give you that feel when you're playing in like a major key, and it's just really really good. I'm pretty sure that's a B flat minor for the relative major, relating the major and the minor scale. So if you want to think of it as minor, you would think B flat minor, G major for the alto saxophone, concert B flat is G minor, G minor, concert B flat, G major for the alto saxophone as well, because alto saxophone is a minor third from concert key, and so basically if the concert is B flat and the saxophone key is G major, then it's going to be concert G minor. So if that makes sense. Moving on. But yeah, that minor or major, whatever you want to think about, it just sets that tone. It's natural, so he doesn't really have to worry about anything sharp yet. He doesn't really have to worry about anything really too cumbersome and in key signature wise and key wise. So it's really good, and it's really gritty. It's really soft, but at the same time that smoky subtoning in the alto really sets the mood of maybe somebody crying, maybe somebody dying, maybe somebody seeing their parents die because of this tragedy, maybe maybe someone hearing about this tragedy. It's so many things you can think about at this time where he's kind of setting that mood at the beginning, and it kind of builds on itself. It builds on itself in the song, and it comes to a point where it levels off and it goes da 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 dee dee ba dee, and it's that that low E is one of my favorites notes on the alto saxophone. So I know when he's really dressing up that E with he's flicking out. If you look at one of my previous saxophone episodes, you can dressing up notes and learn how to do that. But he's using that E flat and E. He's flicking out from E flat to E. He's holding that E out. It's more like a grace kind of jazzy, thing going on there. And he really sets that tone with that E. It really grabs you. And then the song goes on and goes forward. And then not only does the song really hit you, but when that rise in action gets to a risier action, I just made up a word, risier action. When it gets to level 2, he not only takes that basic ba ba and he takes that up a notch. He really takes that up an octave, and it really makes you hold up. Okay, all right, and you can hear kind of subtly in the alto that the artist really wants to whip it out at you now. He's putting it in your face. He's kind of, but the tempo is still slow. It's still driving. It's still rocking. It's still hanging with him. You still hanging with him in that cut. You still hanging in that cut. Then Eric Darius hits you with that higher register, taking it up an octave. And it's really good. It gets really good. It gets really good until. And then the chords come in, and then the beat what's it called, a drum up, or let's see, the drum just rolls, it rolls up, or however you say it, the roll off, it just builds. The drums build in the background. The drums build. I'm not much of a drummer, you guys, so excuse me, but the drums build up in the background. And the chords come in, and so right now I'm thinking this is past the rising action. This is this is going towards the climax. We're just this is what a battle happens. You're right in the eye. You're getting close to the eye of the storm right here, where the chords come in. Everything just builds up. Everything's fighting. and then he comes in with those palm keys on the saxophone. Now, like I told you guys before, the palm keys on the saxophone are very, very temperamental in tonality and tuning. So you really have to know what you're doing when you're getting up there. You gotta have confidence more than anything. And when he gets up there, not only is he doing gutsy high note stuff on the palm keys, but he gets up there and not only does that, he hits the high F sharp. Now, this is the thing about the high F sharp. It's probably one of the most out of tune notes in the saxophone, on the alto saxophone specifically. Why? Because the alto saxophone in the past, I don't believe the F sharp was, I don't think it necessarily had a spot on the alto saxophone. I don't think it was a very popular note when people were designing saxophones back in the day, especially if you have a horn that was built before 1950. The F sharp was not, friendly tuning wise. It was not. And I heard a saxophone player actually say that the F sharp, the newer F sharps, they actually, of course, put a key on the advanced horns that you can actually, is specifically made for the F sharp. It's not an alternate fingering. I don't think it's just the regular F sharp fingering now. It's an actual extra hole on the saxophone because the tonality was just so bad for students, and it was really thin. But that F sharp that Eric Darius hits in that song, "A Prayer for Haiti," "My Prayer for Haiti," it's just so. It not only is it gritty, it's in your face. It's shining over all. It's really shining over the whole trio that he's playing with in the background. It's just in your face. It's refreshing, and it's growled, and it's so long, and it's just, he milks it for everything that it's worth. That F sharp is really good. But the thing about the palm keys, the higher register for the alto saxophone, that's what I say when I mean palm keys. For those of you who don't know, they're really, how do you say? They're really rich, and they're really vibrant, and they're really in your face. So when the saxophone player uses it, you know that, hey, this is a saxophone player, and he's really getting into it when he uses those. But not only that, he's just playing something simple. Eric Darius in this song, he's just playing da 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 da, and not only that, he goes up there, he hits that high A, which I'm not going to try to beatbox or sing it because I'm not much of a singer, but I gotta get you guys to understand how I feel when it comes to this, and I will do anything to let you guys know how wonderful, how fabulous, how spectacular, how awesome this song is when he goes to that high A. Not only he goes from that F sharp, which is already a hard note, that he's already growling pretty much every time that he plays it to show his his emotion, his passion for playing that saxophone. He jumps to the high A, which is an altissimo note, which I think Eric Darius plays high A's pretty much. He does that pretty much a lot. He plays in the altissimo register. I know he plays in the altissimo register. Everybody knows he plays in the altissimo register. But that A, he sits on that A, which is altissimo register, which is just pressure, embouchure and pressure. That's what it is, and he masters it, plays it masterfully. And not only that, once he plays that build, once he hit the F sharp, he has harmony in the background playing the exact same thing, and it's just like a battle that every time you get knocked down, you got to keep getting back up. You got to keep that's what those background saxophones do, in the harmony of him playing. And the lead saxophone is just it's leading. That's what it's doing. It's leading the other saxophones. It's not overshadowing them. It's using musical space to the max. Even his musical space is extremely utilized at a high level, because even when he plays the F sharp, da da da, or concert A, when he plays that concert A F sharp for alto saxophone, and he leaves that space, you're digesting so much at that point in time. It's just so in your mind, because like I said, when you're soloing, Sonny Rollins says you don't know what you're playing. you're in another world, you're in another realm, you're in another universe. So as the audience, when you're listening to this, when you're trying to absorb that high F sharp and all that passion and all that, the fortissimo, the altissimo, the gliss and the grace notes and the blues, it's just good. And yes, he does modulate in this song, which takes it. He modulates a key up, if that makes sense. He modulates. He's adding a sharp to it. So in the circle of fifths, I think he goes from concert B flat, which is G major for the alto saxophone, to concert F, which is D major for the alto saxophone. Excuse me. But I do know that modulation, it really adds another tier to the song. Usually, when you change keys, my friend Donald always told me, it's like, in sometimes in music, most of the time artists change keys, and it's just to make the song longer. It's just to add on to what they already did. Because basically, when you're changing keys, you're playing the same thing except in a different key. You're gonna repeat a phrase or a line or a verse. It's gonna be, or two verses, and it's gonna be in the same key, the same words, but in a different key. It's just gonna have a different notes for each phrase. But the modulation just adds on to the beauty of this song. And then he doesn't even, after that drive is that consistent, and it's all the way to the end. It's all the way to the end, and he plays it all the way to the end. And then at the end, it's just like, if you ever heard of David Sanborn's The Dream, David Sanborn, it's just like that song where you just finished the battle, you've waved your candle, lit your torches in the air. The heat of the battle is over. The blood is, all the blood is there. The emotion, the stress, whether you won, whether you lost. He goes da 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 ya ba wee, and that last note is a concert D, B for the alto saxophone, and it's just da 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 da. It's just there. The smoke cleared. When the smoke clears, there'll be no more tears. That's another song from Afro Samurai. But when the smoke clears, there'll be no more tears. That's what that B represents. That B represents everything is done. Everything, all the pain, everything happened. But in the end, you're still alive. Or in the end, you still have to go on regardless if someone died or not. Or you still have to strive. You still have to live. Or if you didn't live, people are going to be in pain, but this is the resolve. That concert D is the resolve. That B major, that B for the alto saxophone is the resolve. Da 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 wa, and that's what leaves the impression for the entire song. That is the brand. That is the stamp. That is the everything's done. So yes, this is a song called My Prayer for Haiti, and it is exactly what it is. If you ever been to a church, if you ever been to gospel, into gospel, if you ever heard the chorus, the voices, that's exactly what this is. This is the power. This is the fire. This is quite the song, quite the prayer. And like I said in my last CD review, if you haven't listened to the CD review, if it's up before this, Eric Darius, man, I don't even have words to speak on it. I know this CD, this song review was kind of long, but yes, I will give this song a 10 out of 10. So thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. But I really am passionate about this song. In the beginning, I did do a little theory on you guys, and just make sure it's right. Yeah, talk about minors and majors, just the nitty gritty of the actual song, the roots, the bass, what makes the heart, the passion, the soul, the chords, the modulations, the licks, the blues, the sharps, the flats, all that stuff. But I had to say exactly what was on my mind because that is the song. I love it, and I need to know why exactly it is as powerful as it is. And I still to this day cannot fathom, but I'll keep listening to it. And Eric Darius, thanks, man. Thanks. The whole world appreciates you, man. But this is Devin from Project Sax, and I'm signing out again. And stay tuned for my next CD review.